Hey there world, I'm your friendly internet DM Devious, and this is the Beginner's Guide to D&D 3.5. Last time, we introduced the idea of classes as well as the terms and values involved, so this video is going to be faster paced. If you haven't seen my class intro, I'd recommend watching it first to get the context and meaning for most of these terms. We're going to continue talking about classes with the category of warriors. There are 3 pure warrior classes in the player's handbook: fighters, barbarians, and monks. We'll start off with the fighter. The fighter is one of the classes that embodies the personal choice of specialty in D&D in that it's the catch-all for people who want to focus on creating their own specialization and character. A fighter can be built into almost anything you want, as they aren't constricted by alignment, religion, or background, allowing players of fighters to create whatever kind of character narrative they so choose. They can use any kind of weapons in many varied ways, giving the player freedom to design their own playstyle. When it comes to the ability scores that are important for fighters, you focus primarily on the physical scores, which are the first 3. One of your first priorities depends on whether you want to play a melee or ranged fighter, as strength decides the attack and damage bonuses for melee attacks, and dexterity gives attack bonuses to ranged weapons. Constitution is also important to increase maximum health, and dexterity for the armor class bonus. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of the feats for fighters require a high strength, dexterity, or intelligence score. So if you can get a value at least above 13 for all of those, you'll have more freedom of choice later. Fighters have a D10 as their hit die, which is the second highest possible hit die, and are proficient with all simple and martial weapons, all armor, and all shields. Alright, skills. As opposed to the Rogue's 29 class skills, fighters only have 7, those being Climb, Craft, Handle Animal, Intimidate, Jump, Ride, and Swim. Fighters get a number of skill points per level equal to 2 plus their intelligence modifier, and start at first level with 4 times that number. Let's move on to the class table. I want to take a minute to define something that I forgot to mention last video. There are 3 basic rates of progression for base attack bonuses and 2 basic rates of progression for base saves. The rates of progression for base attack bonus are good, medium, and poor, while the rates of progression for base saving throws is good and poor. Basically, this just decides how many levels there are between increments because each of these values will only ever increase by 1. Fighters have a good base attack bonus progression, meaning that their base attack bonus starts at 1 and increases by 1 every level. They also have a good fortitude save, meaning that it starts at 2 and increases by 1 every even level, and they have poor reflex and will saves, which means that they start at 0 and increase by 1 every third level. You don't have to memorize these because all of these tables can be found in the player's handbook as well as online. I just thought I'd mention it because it makes it easier to compare the classes. Now let's move on to the fighter's special abilities. Fighters are the most simple class when it comes to special abilities in that they have no special abilities. Instead, at first level and every even level following, fighters get a bonus feat. However, for their bonus feats, they can only choose bonus feats listed as being fighter bonus feats in the feats table. This is in addition to the regular feat gain they get from class levels, which I will come back and explain fully in another video. That wraps up fighters. Let's move on to our next class, the barbarian. Barbarians are classified as being savages from wild land, uncivilized folk characterized by recklessness, impatience, and wanderlust. They differ from the fighter in that fighters are excellent warriors because of their discipline and their training, whereas barbarians use their wild nature and innate fury to demolish their opponents. The character of barbarians is slightly more constrained than the character of fighters in that barbarians cannot take a lawful alignment. Barbarians are wild, and as such the idea of authority and rules is in direct contrast with the barbarian spirit. Okay, important ability scores. Strength and dexterity are important to barbarians for the same reason they're important to fighters, their use in combat. Constitution is also important because of its role in keeping them alive, and it's what the barbarian's signature ability is based off of. Barbarians have the highest hit die in the game, the D12, which is unique to them. They're proficient with all simple and martial weapons, light and medium armor, and all shields except tower shields. So let's talk about skills. Barbarians have 9 class skills, those being Climb, Craft, Handle Animal, Intimidate, Jump, Listen, Ride, Survival, and Swim. They get 4 plus their intelligence modifier of skill points per level, and like all classes, start at level 1 with 4 times that number. The barbarian has the exact same base attack bonus and base save progression as the fighter, having a good base attack bonus and a good fort save and poor reflex and will saves. Now for the special abilities and properties of the barbarian. Barbarians are unique in that they are the only class that starts out being illiterate. They are unable to read or write. A barbarian can become literate by choosing to spend 2 skill points specifically to become literate, and a barbarian also automatically becomes literate if they take a level of a different class. Barbarians start at level 1 with fast movement and rage. Fast movement simply means that if a barbarian is wearing light or medium armor and isn't carrying a heavy load, their movement speed is 10 feet greater than normal for their race. For example, a human barbarian's base land speed would be 40 feet instead of 30. The Barbarian Rage is the signature ability of the barbarian. A certain number of times per day, a barbarian can descend into a frothing, screaming frenzy, gaining +4 bonuses to Strength and Constitution, a +2 morale bonus to will saves, and a -2 penalty to armor class. The Constitution bonus effectively gives the barbarian a bonus 2 hit points per level, but the barbarian always loses regular hit points before bonus hit points, meaning that you'll always end up with a net loss of hit points when damaged no matter what. During a rage, barbarians can't do anything that requires concentration or patience, can't use any skills based on charisma, dexterity, or intelligence, and can't use magic or magic items that require a command word, a trigger, or a spell completion to function. The barbarian also loses the combat expertise feat during a rage, as well as any metamagic or item creation feats. In basic terms, anything that requires a degree of thought isn't going to happen during a rage. When the barbarian rage ends, a barbarian becomes fatigued, taking a -2 penalty to strength and dexterity, and losing the ability to run or charge until combat ends. Barbarians can only go into rage once during a combat encounter, and it lasts for a number of turns equal to 3 plus their new Constitution modifier, although they can choose to end their rage early. They can also only rage during their turn. Barbarians start at level 1 being able to go into rage once per day, and that number increases at 4th level and every 4 levels after. Barbarians gain Uncanny Dodge at level 2, which you might remember from my video on rogues. The same as rogues, it means that barbarians retain their dodge bonus to AC even when caught off guard or being attacked by an invisible attacker. However, unlike rogues, if a barbarian already has Uncanny Dodge from another class, they gain Improved Uncanny Dodge at level 2 instead. At level 3, barbarians gain Trap Sense, again like rogues, giving them a +1 to reflex saves made against traps and a +1 dodge bonus to AC against attacks made by traps, this bonus increasing by 1 every 3rd level. Barbarians get Improved Uncanny Dodge at level 5, meaning they can no longer be flanked and can't be sneak attacked by a flanking rogue unless the rogue is at least 4 levels higher than them. At 7th level, barbarians gain Damage Reduction, which reduces all damage barbarians take from weapons or natural attacks by 1. The damage reduction increases at 10th level, becoming -2, and on every 3 levels thereafter. Damage can be reduced to 0, but can't be reduced under 0. At 11th level, barbarians gain Greater Rage, which increases the bonuses to Strength and Constitution during Rage to +6, and the bonus to Will saves to +3. The penalty to armor class is unchanged. At 14th level, barbarians gain Indomitable Will, which gives them an additional +4 bonus to resist enchantment during a rage. This stacks with their morale bonus during rage and any other bonuses to will saves. Barbarians of 17th level gain Tireless Rage, which means they will no longer be fatigued at the end of a rage. Finally, at 20th level, barbarians gain Mighty Rage, which increases the bonuses to Strength and Constitution during rage to +8, and the bonus to will saves to +4. The AC penalty is still unchanged. Barbarians are the first class we've discussed that can also lose their abilities. A barbarian that changes their alignment to lawful becomes an ex-barbarian, losing the ability to rage and becoming unable to take any more levels in barbarian. However, all other abilities are retained. Now we move on to our last class for this video, the Monk. Monks are characterized as being disciplined warriors striving for perfection through training, shaping themselves into the perfect weapon. This is their primary goal, the perfection of their art. The unique thing about monks is that they primarily fight without weapons or armor, using their bare hands and a unique power called Ki. No, not that kind of Ki. Similar to that kind of Ki. Monks are normally trained in monasteries among other monks and are usually raised there because they were orphans or were given to the monastery as a tithe or a gift. Monks are almost exclusively humans or half-humans, but there are some other races that have monk traditions. Monks are also exclusively lawful, only lawful characters capable of becoming and being monks. For important abilities, monks are primarily based off of wisdom, most of their special abilities being based off of it. Dexterity is important for the AC bonus as monks are almost always unarmored, and strength gives additional power to their attacks. Constitution is still important to be able to take damage. Monks have a D8 as their hit die, and are proficient with the club, crossbow, dagger, hand axe, javelins, kama, nunchaku, quarterstaff, sai, shuriken, shongam, and sling, and are not proficient with any armor or shield. For skills, monks have 18 class skills. those being Balance, Climb, Concentration, Craft, Diplomacy, Escape Artist, Hide, Jump, Knowledge Arcana, Knowledge Religion, Listen, Move Silently, Perform, Profession, Sense Motive, Spot, Swim, and Tumble. They gain a number of skill points equal to 4 plus their intelligence modifier per level, and as always, start at level 1 with 4 times that number. The base attack bonus for monks is medium, the same as rogues, but all of their base saves are good. Now for the unique abilities of monks. This is a long one. All monks have an AC bonus equal to their wisdom bonus when unarmored and unencumbered, and gain an additional point of bonus to armor class every 5 levels, so +1 at 5, +2 at 10, and so on. All monks also have better unarmed strikes, starting at level 1 with improved unarmed strike as a bonus feat, meaning that their unarmed strikes are treated just like attacks with weapons, with the added bonus that monks can choose to make lethal or non-lethal attacks with no penalties. A monk's base unarmed damage is also much higher than other classes. A monk of medium sizes damage starting at 1d6, increasing to 1d8 at level 4, 1d10 at level 8, 2d6 at level 12, 2d8 at level 16, 2d10 at 20, and so on. It's worth noting that monks of different size categories have different damage values, which are listed in separate tables. Monks also start at level 1 with Flurry of Blows, which allows them to make an additional attack on their turn, taking a -2 penalty to all attacks made that round. This penalty decreases to -1 at 5th level and to 0 at 9th level. At 11th level, Flurry of Blows allows 2 additional attacks. When a monk uses Flurry of Blows, all the attacks must be made with unarmed attacks or the monk's special weapons, which are the weapons that the monk starts being proficient with. Monks also get to choose between Improved Grapple or Stunning Fist as bonus feats at level 1. At 2nd level, monks gain Evasion, which again you may remember from rogues. A monk with Evasion takes no damage on a successful reflex save against attacks that normally only give half damage on a successful save, although only when they are wearing light armor or no armor. Monks at 2nd level gain another bonus feat, choosing this time between combat reflexes or deflect arrows. Monks at 2nd level gain fast movement, just like barbarians, with the same rules applying. Movement speed is 10 feet faster than base speed for their race. Hey guys, Editing Deeves here. You'll get messages from me occasionally when Past Me forgets to say something during a recording. Just wanted to tack on to the end of fast movement that the bonus that monks get to movement speed actually increases by 10 every 3 levels, unlike barbarians who only get it once. At 3rd level, monks gain Still Mind, which gives them a +2 bonus to will saves against enchantment. At 4th level, monks gain Key Strike Magic, which allows their unarmed attacks to be treated like magic attacks when dealing with damage resistance. I mentioned earlier that barbarians can get damage reduction. Basically, a lot of creatures also have damage reduction, although they have specific weaknesses that can bypass their damage reduction. Q Strike Magic allows monks to ignore the damage reduction of any creature with weakness listed as being magic. Monks also gain the additional modifier Key Strike Lawful at level 10 and Key Strike Adamantine at level 16, furthering their ability to bypass damage resistance. Monks of 4th level also gain Slow Fall, which allows them to use a wall within arm's reach to slow their fall for some distance, effectively decreasing or negating fall distance. This ability starts at negating 20 feet of fall, increasing by 10 feet every other level until 20th level, at which point monks can slow fall for any distance. At 5th level, monks gain Purity of Body, which gives them immunity to all diseases other than supernatural or magical diseases. At 7th level, monks gain Wholeness of Body, which allows them to self-heal for a number of hit points equal to twice their monk level per day. The healing can be spread out among several uses as well. At 9th level, monks gain Improved Evasion, which again allows them to only take half damage on failed reflex saves to negate damage from attacks. At 11th level, monks gain Diamond Body, which gives them immunity to all poisons. At 12th level, monks gain Abundant Step, which lets them magically step between places as if using the spell Dimension Door, effectively gaining a short-range teleport. This can be used once per day and has an effective caster level of 1/2 their monk level. At 13th level, monks gain Diamond Soul, which gives a monk spell resistance equal to their monk level plus 10. This means that all spellcasters wishing to affect the monk with a spell must make a caster level check exceeding their spell resistance. More on caster level checks in a later video. At 15th level, monks gain Quivering Palm, a once per week delayed instant kill attack. If the monk declares a Quivering Palm attack and successfully lands the attack, it succeeds. Afterwards, within a number of days equal to their monk level, the monk can will the target to die, and the target must make a Fortitude save higher than 1/2 the monk's level, plus the monk's Wisdom modifier plus 10. If they fail, they instantly die, and if they succeed, they are no longer in danger. At 17th level, monks gain Timeless Body, effectively halting their aging. They no longer take penalties for aging and cannot be aged artificially or magically, although they still gain bonuses for aging and will still die of old age. Again, more on aging in a later video. Monks of 17th level also gain Tongue of the Sun and Moon, allowing them to converse with any living creature. At 19th level, monks gain Empty Body, which allows them to become ethereal for a number of rounds equal to their monk level per day, making them invisible, intangible, and capable of moving in all directions, although they move up and down at half speed. They are allowed to move through solid objects, including creatures, and can hear and see everything normally to a distance of 60 feet. Ethereal creatures can attack other ethereal creatures, but not regular creatures, and vice versa. And while magic from regular creatures can affect you while ethereal, your magic effects cannot affect regular creatures. At 20th level, monks gain Perfect Self, having tuned their bodies so effectively with the supernatural world that they become a magical creature, being treated as an outsider-type creature rather than a humanoid type, for any effects relating to creature. They gain damage reduction 10 with weakness to magic, which allows them to negate the first 10 points of damage of any non-magical attack. However, unlike regular outsiders, they can still be brought back from the dead. By the way, that is a thing in this game. Monks, like barbarians, can lose their status as monks if their alignment drifts from lawful, retaining all their abilities but becoming unable to take further levels in monk. Monks who take a different class level after their first level of monk also become unable to take further levels in monk. Alright, that's the warrior classes finished with. 4 down and 7 to go, and I hope to see you again next week.